Hey guys, we just got our Simonton windows today, vinyl windows. We're going to be taking out some aluminum windows. We're keeping the aluminum frame in against stucco. We're going to be putting in this window. It'll be really easy. Show you guys how to do it. So we're going to be replacing these old aluminum windows with these new Simonton vinyl windows. And it's pretty easy. All we got to do, pop out the screen, and then we can lift out one of these sliders. We're just coming over to this side, lifting it out. And then to get out this piece that's not a slider, we just have to get it out of this channel. And on a lot of these aluminum windows, there's a screw right here, and a screw at the top. Take that out, and then this metal section comes out. I think on this model, I just use my hacksaw and I make a cut to cut this out. And you do want to end up where the outside rim of your aluminum and the stucco are on the same plane. Like, you don't want anything sticking out, because then it makes it harder for this thing called the fin to have a nice tight seal. So you want this to rub right up against the stucco. And if you have anything sticking out like this, we'll get rid of this when we remove this centerpiece. But if you did, you could have an angle grinder and you could just grind it down, or use a hacksaw to cut the aluminum off. You do want to have a nice flat surface. I think today also I'll grind, mark off with tape where this fin would go. And then I think what I'll do is, if there's any high spots like this, I'll just grind it off with my angle grinder, so I can get this plastic fin to fit really close. Closer the better. Look at the top, that looks really good already. Nothing to change. Side looks really good. But right here you can notice just how they laid down the stucco. It sticks out, and you have a lot of gaps. So I'll get rid of that. All right, so we're gonna get to it. And first thing is, we'll just remove this screen, and then we'll start our disassembly. By the way, when you guys measure to do this, not too worried about this screen, because we're going to just throw it away now. But when you measure to do this, you have to think about what is the skinniest measurement. We can see that when they put in this tile, that it's a little higher on some spots than the aluminum ridge right here. So when I measure for this window, I had to measure from the smallest opening, which was from the aluminum, which you normally would do, but from this tile, because this window is going to stick in about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, about 3.5, 4 inches in, and it's going to end up riding on top of this tile. So that's how you do your measurement. Take your measuring tape, measure from the tile, in this case, up to whatever part of this aluminum frame sticks out the most. When you look at the aluminum frame here, you notice there's this piece, and then there's this thing, this fin that sticks in. So that's where you would do your measurement. You put if you do the lengthwise, put your measurement tape here and measure all the way over to the other side to figure out what size vinyl you need. For Simonton, I think for Joel and some of the other ones from Home Depot, you can tell them your exact opening, and then they can measure it and make it exactly the same for you. So just be wary when you doing this measurement. Consider always, what is my smallest opening? Because you can't shrink your window, but if your window ended up being a little too small, you can build up, you could add like a little layer of wood here, or whatever you got to do to make it fit, but you can't shrink your window. All right, so that's how you do the measurement. So the next thing we're going to do is pop out the slider. Yeah, I'll go inside, I'll lift it up, get this one out, and then we're going to cut this metal section out, and we'll be able to pop this one out. So a couple things to make this a little lighter for the install. We can just take out the screen and take out one of the things of glass, the slider, because it's going to make it not half as heavy, but kind of close to that. It should take a lot of weight off. So to do that, we figure out which one is the slider. Let's see, it's going to be this one. And we're going to unlock it, bring it down. And when you get down lower, there's enough room to be able to get it out of there. So I just moved it this way a little bit, and you should be able to lift it out. Okay, that takes a lot of weight out. It's going to make it easier. Okay, nice. When they ship these, they have like a double stick tape. It's holding on these protectors. So I'm just going to pry those off. That'll be the next step. So with the slider removed, which is a lot of the weight, I think you're talking about 15 pounds, 20 pounds, so it's easily a one-person job, which is great. I need a ladder though, because it's up a bit higher. So next thing, we have it prepared and ready to go. I'm going to measure off the width of this thing called the fin. And I'm going to measure down and put a thing of tape so I can see where I can grind off to get this smoother. But when I install this window, this fin will be over that, so you won't be able to see it. We marked off with the blue tape the area that we can grind down that the fin will cover. But from the blue down, that's the area that we don't want to grind it, because we want the color to match and we don't want to have any change in the coloration. So let's get this out of here, and then we'll cut the center post. Remember though, on a lot of ones, I don't think it's true of this one, but on a lot of these, the center post is just screwed in. And I think this one we have to cut out. We'll take a look here, but let's get the slider out next. I'm going to go inside and just lift this thing out. Okay guys, we're inside the house now. We're going to slide this. Maybe it's the other side. Yeah, I'm sorry. It goes all the way this way. That's right. Lift it up. There we go. Okay. Get it out. Got it. Okay, so now we just have to get out that center post. Let's do that next. So you guys, on this model, we do have a Phillips head screw right here in the middle. A lot of these have a screw there and a screw there. I think if we get this out, we might be able to just get the center one out without cutting it. Let's try. So we're just going to pull out Phillips head. I think that connects that center post with this pane of glass. Get that out. Now we're going to see if we can just wedge this thing out. I'm going to go to the outside again. So to get out this one, which is more permanent, the slider just pops out. But this one, I am now trying to lift it up so that I think the bottom can come out. So I'm just, they've been in there for many years, so tapping up, I'm creating a gap. I'm going to make that gap all the way along. And I think I can just pop it out. See the movement there? So you just keep at it, and this should come out toward us. Might have to go over this way a little bit too, huh? Just moving it around like this though is good, because it's been stuck in there for a long time. So now I'm pushing from behind, and I do get some movement here. There we go. Okay, should be able to lift it out now. I think, yeah. All right, so there is our friend, the other one. Set that down, watch out for it. And now, just gotta get this center piece out. Easier to access it. And we're gonna clean all this up before we do our install. And make sure you have really clean surfaces. So for some reason you had something sticking out like this, you can use an angle grinder to get it cut down so it's no longer protruding. In our case though, to get rid of this whole center bar, so I'm going to make a cut with the angle grinder, just cut that off at the top and bottom. If you don't have an angle grinder, you can use a hacksaw. Let's do that next. So in my case, even though we got the centerpiece out, this thing is just part of the unit. I'm going to just cut like this too to get this little protrusion out. So our center post did not come out. It's okay. So we just cut it, make sure it's nice and flat. Now we can clean up a little bit and then we'll do a dry fit. Dry fit just means you're going to put the window in there. It fits okay before you do your caulking. And also before I do the caulking, I'm going to take down some of these high points on the stucco. Okay guys, let's do the dry fit now. Just make sure the window's going to fit in there. So when we look at it, we got to figure out which one's up, which one's down. The downside has these little slots, the weep holes. So that's going to be on the bottom. Flip this around a little bit. Make sure it's going to fit it inside the rough opening. I'm going to go bottom side first. Okay, tip it in. Alright, so the sides seem good. So when I look in from the side, I can see it sitting on top of the aluminum. But there is a goes a little bit higher, so I'm going to grind that one off. Give it a better fit. Let me take this down. It's a little bit too tight. It seems like it's probably getting held up by this tile, but all is not lost. Sideways, it's doing great, but up and down, a little bit of trouble. So I am going to do, I have a little bit of leeway. If you look at this aluminum piece, and then you look at this aluminum piece, this central part sticks down. You can see there's a little line there. I basically got to get rid of this, maybe it's 1/8 of an inch. This thing just sticks down a tiny bit. I'm going to relieve that with my angle grinder, and then it should be okay. Let's do that. Okay, so we took out about a 1/4 inch. I'm sorry, about 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so this is the dry fit. Lift it up. I'm gonna go bottom first. All the way in. Looks good. At the top. Yeah, so we had to remove a little bit of material to get it to fit. It's a good dry fit. You could look at that too to see if it's already nice and straight, if we have to shim it. Look at that, it's already plumb. So if you have to do any work inside now, you're just doing this by yourself, there's no one to hold it. You can take a 2x4, as long as it's not too windy of a day, and lean it against here. And then if the wind blows, it's just less likely to fall. Let's go to this plane. Yeah, you know what? If we don't shim it, we're already there. That's unusual. Might come up just a little bit on this side. Just a fraction on this side. Get it a little bit straighter. All right, that's good. Let's clean it up and then we'll put in the caulking. You guys, I got this nice and straight. I marked this with my pen so I can see where to grind off some of the high points of the stucco. Like something like that. You want to get rid of. You can just knock it off with a chisel or screwdriver, or you can grind it off. Here you guys have my grinder. I'm gonna look for high points like that, grind them off. But like that's fine, right? Up there, it's a little bit high, and then really high right here. Let's do the grinding. You guys, we grinded away those high points on the perimeter. I don't know if that's super important if you put enough caulking, but we have installed these before, and one of the windows we did get a little bit of water coming in, but I'm pretty sure it was just a result of there's too many high points, so wouldn't hurt to do that. Next thing we'll do is we'll clean it all up, and then we'll put our caulking, put it in position, do a little shimming, put the screws in. We're almost done. Here we have the opening all ready and clean. We're going to use this 100% Supreme silicone to put it along the perimeter to seal it. We're going to actually put some more on later, but this is just the preliminary. I'm going to leave a little bit open for the weep hole on the bottom, but on the side, go all the way up, and I'm on the stucco. That's kind of the uneven part. That's what we're trying to seal. Doing it on the stucco right where it meets the aluminum. We'll put a finishing part on there too later, but this is just the preliminary one. And if it's a windy day when you're doing this, maybe have someone else help you. If you're just by yourself, you can use like a 2x4 to set against the window once you put it up there, and then you can go inside and you can put the screws in. The screws will go through some of the vinyl part of it, and then it'll go into the aluminum. And we're going to put screws on the top and on the sides, but we won't do the bottom unless it's a really big window. This is a pretty small window, so you don't really need it. Okay, let's do the side and the top. You can get this stuff at Home Depot or Amazon. Put a link in the description below. But it's just a good silicone that's rated for windows and doors. So if you feel like the stucco is really uneven, you might want to put a bigger bead of this stuff on. You don't want there to be any gaps. Okay, we have left a little bit of an opening here and here with the caulking. It's for these weep holes on the bottom. And then we have a nice bead on the side and on the top on the side. So we're going to go ahead and put in the window. And then we're going to screw it in from the inside. All right, we're going to bottom in first. Pushing the top. And they're nice and tight. Looks like a good fit. So I'm going to go inside, but in the interim, just in case, especially if it's a windy day, let's put a 2x4 against it. So we have a little safety measure. I don't want this window to fall. Okay, let's go inside. We'll put the screws in. Also make sure it's level, maybe put in a couple of shims. So now we got it in place, you guys. We're on the inside. We're just going to check to make sure that it's level, plumb. Looks like if I came up on the side a little bit, it would improve, but it's pretty close. I want to have this come up a tiny bit. I'm going to use these shims to help me. Shim underneath. Check it as we go. Yeah, looks good. So I just put a little bit in there to raise it up. And on this plane, come up still a little bit more. Yeah, it's a tad. Push in a little more. Test it now. It's good. Even a slightly bit more. Okay, test it again. More still. Okay. So put in the second one underneath it. Tiny bit. A little bit more. Yeah, it's good. Okay, got it. I'm going to do the side one here, just to fill in this gap. And I'll put the screws in. So once we get the shims kind of where we want them, we'll scribe them with a razor knife. We can break them off. And I'll do this bottom one too. So on the bottom one, I didn't put any screws through. These are just in with friction. But I needed to raise up this corner a little bit. So that was the purpose of those shims. Okay, break that off. And then I have one at the top here. A little thicker. So let me take a few runs with your razor knife. Get that out. So we got our shims in. We put the screw through the shims. Just going to tighten that a little bit more. Goes past that membrane. And give it a little tighter. Okay, and we're just gonna fill in that hole, and we're gonna scribe these and pop them off. We'll do same thing up in this corner. Snap it, scribed it, we'll snap it. Let's do the next one, same thing. You guys, we got our shims in position. We're going to put our slider back in. Go up inside the groove first. Go further to the left. All the way up. Let the roller sit down inside. Other side. It locks up good. Moves good to the side. Alright, that's good. Put the screen in. So I want to clean up a little bit, and then I'm going to spray some foam along the perimeter. You guys, I'm going to now do some insulating foam to fill in some gaps just for a good sealant, less temperature change, losing heat or hot or cold. I'm going to use this Loctite brand. We'll put a link in the description below. You want to get the type that says no bowing, so it expands just a little bit. So if you get the really strong type, the expansion is so great, it pushes down and it makes it hard for the window to move. So we're just going to put in a small amount, fill in the gap. Get that foam everywhere you can. You can see it's filling the gaps pretty good. I see a little gap here. More foam in there. Gap there. More foam. And if you have a little extra, you can cut it off later before you put on the final trim. Around the shims. Down in this corner. Okay guys, we're almost done with the install. We've got the window in, we've got the caulking done, we've sprayed foam into any gaps, low density foam all around the perimeter. And we've cut away any excess foam. If this stuff, you can get it over at Home Depot. It has an adhesive backing. And you peel that off. And then that part you peeled off the adhesive sticks onto the window, and this part comes down and fills any kind of gap. So we put this stuff all the way around the perimeter, and like here I had to make a special cut to get around this tile, but it turns out good. And then you put the caulking, using the same caulking you used on the outside, is made by GE, 100% Supreme silicone, made for doors and windows. So this is really good stuff. And we're almost done. When you do the caulking, you can just caulk it in and then use your finger. I like to use the painter's tape first on the two surfaces. And that way there's just a little bit of caulking, but not a lot that smears around. So once you've put that on, before it gets dry, you can remove the tape. Let's see if we can do a little bit here. You guys can see what it looks like. You end up with a nice caulking line right there. And it's not as messy. It's kind of cool. I think that's a good way to go. And by you doing all this yourself, probably saved, we did 2 of these bathroom windows, we probably saved 1,000. I think the Symingtons for 2 of these double hung windows cost us about 1,000. So labor is usually about double. Pretty easy to do. Just take you about probably 1 day to do 2 of them. But it comes out really nice when you use the tape. So I think that's a good technique. And we ordered, usually you get little plugs that come with it to plug up where you put the screws in. But this one didn't have them, so we ordered some from Amazon. Like for $9 you get 200 of them, different sizes. And that'll be the final thing. You can see it comes out really nice. This one too. And again, Home Depot has this trim, PVC type trim, in the window section, and I got a 12-foot section for like $6. Gives you plenty to do a window. A little line there that I drew I got to get rid of with probably some acetone, but the caulking looks good. It's just a fine line. A little pin marks I got to get rid of. Alright, so that is how you can do your own vinyl window, replacing your aluminum window without ruining your stucco, without having to repaint. And it's pretty quick and easy. The thing to remember though, I actually do a little modifying of this second window. When I ordered it, I didn't account for this tile. So I had to get in there with an angle grinder and kind of cut out the shape of this tile to make the window fit. So the other way to do that is to measure the shortest distances on the width here, which would not be from the aluminum track to the aluminum track, but I'd have to come in a little bit because this tile came in a little further, so go from the tile to the tile, and I could fill in the gap with wood or whatever. Easy to do. It's a little bit harder if you have to like grind away the plastic. So it's probably better to do the smallest opening. These Symingtons have a double lifetime warranty, so it protects you all the time that you own your home, and you can transfer that to the next owner. Put a link in the description below for ordering Symington, but probably the best way to do it is if you live near a Home Depot. Go in there, give them the measurement, and you can dictate what type of lock you want, what kind of glass, and tell you the different prices. But you can see that caulking line comes out really good. Just gotta get rid of these marks that I made with a pin. Here's the other window that we did previously, and came out really good. Good insulation, and if you have a fogged up aluminum window, it's really a quick and easy way to replace it. Watching our video, and please subscribe to our channel when you get a chance, and also click the little bell notification button so we can send you weekly videos on all the different ways of fixing appliances around your home and saving you lots of money. So thanks again for watching, and please also press the like button for our video if this was helpful to you. Feel free to contact me at the email listed below, which is scottthefixitguy@yahoo.com, with any of your questions.